So here we go. Nameaholics, anonymous, or as I put it, Nameaholics, non-eye mouse. Yeah, three blind mice. Get it? That was just a little play on words. I've been known to do that from time to time. So let's read a story tonight, boys and girls, and let's see who can separate themselves from the nonsense. Let's see who don't carry a 40-pounder in their back pocket in the form of ID. It never ceases to amaze me at how hard people cling to the very thing that is killing them, both physically and spiritually. The sheer defiance I experience from those who are seeking to be free, but will not listen to the deepest truth in that matter. I am beyond weary of the conflicts, the betrayals, and the sheer festering venom of hatred when actually confronted with a truth so simple, yet so spellbinding that controls their very soul in the most literal of definitions. People constantly ask for my help, and when I tell them that all I can do is show them how to help themselves, the knickers get twisted and they run off screaming to their dead whore mother called Babylon or commerce. It is beyond insanity watching people fight for their possessions, be they families, children, homes, cars, etc., knowing that these idiots don't own anything, where it was given away with full consent upon all registrations. Everything they legally own was bought or created through a legal name that is legally owned by the owners of the system or Crown Corporation's Triple Crown, and there isn't a legal thing you can do about it. So why would anyone want to be a part of that? I don't care what anyone believes, because any and all truth never requires anyone's belief, merely the acceptance or denial of it. I'll just update that saying. That's a Kateism now. I can't be responsible for anyone's choices but my own, which is the basic fundamental law that humanity is mostly devoid of. The blame game allows for the existence of the name game, and the predators line up to fleece the sheep at all levels, beginning with the police and going on up from there, or more accurately, down. The biggest joke is that people think the courts, judges, and lawyers are the power in this insanity, but it is the police that have the guns to do the bidding of the masters far above any courtroom personnel. You don't see many judges or lawyers out arresting innocent people, now do you? The game starts and ends in the same place it always begins, when one defies the lies of this system, and it's at the Narmer pallet carrier's point of entry, namely the police or po-lice, which means spirit seed lice. Lie say also means the lie of creation, or lies say. When one is exposing the mortgage and bank frauds, it's not the judges and lawyers that come out to get ya. They're the cowards that send out the bits of contract paper, hoping that you will take the bait and be the name. That's all they need, and you're toast. One assumption or presumption that you even think you're the name has you owned, locked, stocked as stock, and bar ruled. All thought is pure contract in this universe, and what you think you are, you are. Now, for the ever-logical ego, unruled by the emotional ego, one simply has to sift through the facts, where the true soul intuitive already knows until it clicks. I'm constantly confronted with emotional egos that will just not get this straight until the emotions and fears are put aside. Here's a fact for you. In body terms, we are born, live, and then die, apparently. So we're all on a suicide mission anyway, if we so choose. In the end game, there's only one possible thing that we can lose then, logically speaking, and that is one's soul. This game is all about choice, where I see humanity choosing door number 3 that has the booby prize of goats or sheep tied to a stake behind it. That's for those that remember a game show called Let's Make a Deal with none other than 3-card Monty Hall. Hall is another form of phallus, by the way, as the show's host. For those truly trapped in all things physical, with only the demented or Dios mind dead version of spirituality called religion to turn to, they cannot see this, let alone begin to fathom the enormity of their soul servitudes. The ego also has one hell of a time accepting anything that is absolutely simple, inasmuch as it has been programmed since birth to get all and be all complicated like. Seriously, ever tried talking to an intellectual? And no, there are no coincidences in the phonics, because they reveal the true nature of this magic kingdom, where one has to actually hear the sounds far beyond the intended meanings. Means was the first pharaoh of them all, and he created the Narmer pallet curse, the same little book every cop carries to get you to contract with this scorpion king. The irony of this whole game here is that the more logic you use under your non-emotional control, the more wild the magic that gets presented to you. Talk about walking the narrow road, let alone ever finding it. Well, found it we have, and walk it some of us do. Truth is stranger than fiction, and far more cool and powerful once you spot it. An ego at any level of control over you will never allow this, so keep that little tidbit of truth in mind if you're interested in even looking at all. In short, humanity has become a bunch of drunken nameaholics, partying with the whore of Babylon into the wee hours of infinity, eating of her poisons and partaking in her slaughter of mankind. Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow, but you best choke that motherfucker down while you still have a Taurus to speak with. Yes, you are messing with your immortality. And the more mortal the aspects you serve, the more mortal you become until it's spiritually fatal, and the masters you serve have you as an infinite slave. I laugh constantly listening to people cry out that they are no one's slave and that they are free while they carry pockets and purses full of slave ID. You think you're free? Try crossing one of your master's borders without it, and you'll see how much of a controlled slave you are. My reality has no borders or boundaries, and that is the reality I am focused on and am achieving. You can scream Second Amendment all you like, but all you're doing is saying that you, creation, is conned, and that you're in the mirror of Amun-Ra's mind creation. I have to tell you, this walk is not comfortable because it flies in the face of everything you once thought to be real, only to find out it's all bullshit, for lack of a better way to say it. Not only is it uncomfortable, you get to meet all sorts of parasites pretending to be friends, where all they're interested in is what you can get them in material gain, infinite soul be damned. That's the problem with those still thinking they are meat sticks. They equate value in creation with the stuff they can collect physically and prey on everyone to get it. Many have claimed to be helping me, but the truth is they're only interested in helping themselves in the end. The real fun part is when you expose this in them, their true nature appears, and they're nothing less than the very demons that control this realm. Honestly, I really should know better by now, having experienced the same thing in my family and my musical life. No one was interested in the real me, just what they could get from me, be it money, prestige, connections, fame, etc., all things of which I have shunned most of my life. I caught on early to the control grid of material shite, and quite frankly, if one truly is a star, why the need to want to be one so intensely? The answer is simple, in that they got duped out of the status and are fallen as a result. The supposed highest ranks of humanity are of the lowest fallen in this realm and are trying desperately, clinging on to the remnants of their construct being destroyed. That is simply inevitable anyway. Cosmic law dictates under the golden rule. That which they have wished upon others is exactly what they'll get, and no wonder they're petrified, soon to be literally. And besides, who am I to trespass on anyone's free will choice after all? All contracts are made in the mind and heart long before any silly piece of paper enters the scene. If you agree to anything, then you are in full contract with it, regardless of claims to the contrary. And that contract begins the instant, in standing, you think it. The cool part is, that contract can also be destroyed equally fast, and again, no paper or hands required at this level. I laugh at marriage certificates claiming someone was married on such and such a day, when the truth is they were married the instant the question was popped, intention to contract, and the answer of yes was conceived, contract sealed. A seal, as a point of interest, is the highest covenant or promise one can wield, so best be careful with that sword. A really good rule to live by is to swear no oaths, something all the ancient masters had a say in. In this reality, it's all about swearing this or promising that, contracting here, there, and everywhere, and people wonder why the planet is so screwed up. It is called a plan it, right? Mankind is all a bunch of nameaholics, where they can do nothing without the name, apparently, which in turn grants their entire soul power to another. I would urge anyone reading this to read all my essays, etc., for a larger scope, but most importantly, The Babylon is Fallen is a particularly truth-filled synopsis of my last 4 years of work. That's another funny one, too. In real time, I've only been involved in the, quote, truth movement, unquote, for a little less than 4 years, and I'm befuddled at how many folks involved in searching for truth cannot see this ring that rules them all. To the degree that one finds truth and steps fully into it is the measure of how many lies one can no longer live with. I have talked with many truther gurus who talk a great story, but when confronted with real truth of their own deceptions, crumple up like chain-sawed rag dolls. They'll either fold up or, as in most cases, try to talk louder and talk more as the emotions slowly take over their feeble minds. It's either that or they have a malevolent purpose to serve. Keep in mind that the deceivers, not truthers, are everywhere and take on any form that can get you to pay them your attention. This is why I'm adamant about not allowing pedestals or idol worship of any kind, and why I will tell you to look for yourself lest you see me in that dumbass savior fucking role that I loathe. Do not believe a fucking word I say or write blindly as per your normal program. Be strong enough within self to look as a neutral observer only. Take only what you can resonate with at whatever level you are at and build on your reality. You choose from there. This is why these essays and documents I write belong to all, and anyone who sees truth from their perspective and choice. Not because I wrote them. I simply share the truths that matter to all. You can lead a horse to water, but they'll likely drown in the truth before even thinking they can swallow it instead. I am no one's savior, but my own, so perhaps you may want to consider the same approach. I follow no one, where I simply cherry-pick only that which intuitively resonates. A mind can be easily deceived where a true heart intuitive is incorruptible. The lower reptilian brain is easy to control and can be manipulated with external physical devices such as electronic interference, smart meters, pyramids, the original smart meters, cell towers, television carrier waves, etc. So how can anyone trust that implanted DNA construct? So please don't ever tell me you're free if you're still mentally and physically in contract with a legal name in any way whatsoever. You're nothing but a fucking slave deluded by your ego into a defensive stance as always illustrated by emotions. I did say this pill was a motherfucker, and I meant that both figuratively and literally. The whore of Babylon fucks her own children, feeds on their souls, and then recycles them, where this seems just peachy for most of mankind. There is no paperwork involved in this, no legal shite, or anything of the physical reality illusion. It is merely a change of one's mind and heart to change one's universe, nothing more and nothing less than that. To those that still feel the need to psychobabble any of this shite with me, give your head a shake. Shut up for 5 minutes to truly listen without your left brain psychopathy getting the better of you like it always does, and learn to say, okay. It is impossible to reason with anyone who is out of control emotionally, and I always know what I'm dealing with when it shows up. It is the one who constantly justifies, defends, and gets emotional when their reality gets the slightest deviation. It took me a while to get off that bottle called name, but the truth is, it's a lie that I could not stand in once my choice to stand in truth was made. For me to do otherwise was a blasphemy against my true self, where the true soul me couldn't be party to evil in any way, shape, or form. No, this is not a gentle essay, but then the cold, hard truth was never a comfortable bed to be in. This princess found the pea and simply removed it. As the allegory goes, it didn't matter how many mattresses she slept on between her and the pea, truth. She just couldn't be comfortable until the pea, the hex mirror of Ro, was removed. Some people are fine just going along to get along and being party to humanity's slavery, murder, I said slavery twice because, well, it works on more levels, rapes, child sacrifice, and all manner of vomitous evil. I just couldn't and can't be part of that at all, and thus, no name in the land of commerce, whore of Babylon, which is its own kind of uncomfortable pea. To me, the children and you are worth that. Perhaps one day you'll see me as worth it as well. You have to be all in to get all out, and all you have to do is recover yourself as the nameaholics you are. Hi, I'm Kate, a recovering nameaholic. Was.